Little People, Big World star Zack Rolof and Tory Roloff divorced. And finally, Zack Rolof marriage his secret girlfriend. Zack Rolof cheat to Tory Roloff. Zack revealed his second wife. I will explain everything. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're diving into a story that has shocked fans of Little People, Big World to their core. A story of love, betrayal, heartbreak, and a new beginning that no one saw coming. For over a decade, Zack and Tory Roloff have been the golden couple of reality TV, a beacon of hope, resilience, and family values. But behind the scenes, their picture-perfect marriage was crumbling, and now the truth is out. Zack and Tory are divorced. Even more shocking, Zack has moved on, marrying his secret girlfriend, in a whirlwind romance that's left everyone questioning everything they thought they knew about him. Did Zack cheat on Tory? What led to the collapse of their marriage? And who is this mystery woman who's stolen his heart? Buckle up, because this is the untold story of Zack and Tory Roloff's divorce and Zack's new life. Let's get into it. To understand how we got here, we need to go back to the beginning. Zack Rolof, one of the 4 children of Matt and Amy Roloff, grew up in the spotlight on TLC's Little People, Big World. Born with androplasia, a form of dwarfism, Zack was always the quieter twin compared to his brother Jeremy. While Jeremy was outgoing and ambitious, Zack was reserved, often overshadowed by his family's larger-than-life dynamics. But everything changed in 2010 when a young woman named Tori Patton walked onto Roloff Farms during pumpkin season. She was hired as a seasonal worker, picking squash and helping with the farm's bustling autumn events. Little did anyone know this was the start of a love story that would capture the hearts of millions. Tori was different. She wasn't fazed by Zack's dwarfism or the cameras that followed his family. She saw him for who he was, a kind, funny, and deeply loyal guy. Their chemistry was undeniable. They started dating in 2011, and by 2014, Zack proposed to Tori in a romantic setup on the farm. Fans were over the moon. Their wedding in July 2015, held on the very farm where they met, was a fairy tale moment. The episode aired on TLC, showing Tori in a stunning white gown and Zack beaming with pride. It was a celebration of love, family, and the promise of a bright future. Over the next few years, Zack and Tori built a life that seemed perfect. They welcomed 3 beautiful children: Jackson in 2017, Leia in 2019, and Josiah in 2022. Their social media was filled with heartwarming moments, family vacations, birthday parties, and candid snapshots of their life in Battleground, Washington, where they moved after leaving Roloff Farms. On Little People, Big World, they shared their struggles and triumphs, from Zack's health challenges to Tori's openness about motherhood. Fans admired their honesty, their faith, and their unwavering commitment to each other. They were the couple everyone rooted for. But even the strongest relationships can crack under pressure. And for Zack and Tori, those cracks started to show long before the public noticed. To understand what happened, we need to look at the challenges they faced. Challenges that tested their marriage and ultimately led to its downfall. The first major strain on Zack and Tori's marriage came from an unexpected source: family drama. For years, Zack had dreamed of taking over Roloff Farms, the iconic Oregon property that was the heart of Little People, Big World. He grew up believing he'd inherit part of the farm, a place filled with memories of his childhood. But in 2021, everything changed. Matt Roloff, Zack's father decided not to sell a portion of the farm to Zack, instead listing 16 acres for sale publicly. Matt claimed none of his kids wanted the farm, but Zack called that a lie. The betrayal cut deep. Zack felt like his father had chosen profit over family, and it sparked a feud that played out on national television. Tory stood by Zack's side, fiercely defending him. On social media, she hinted at the pain this caused, posting about needing to protect her peace and focus on their family. The couple decided to leave Oregon altogether, moving to a spacious property in Washington to start fresh. But the move didn't erase the hurt. Zack admitted on their podcast Raising Heights that visiting the farm brought up resentment and old feelings. Tory echoed this, saying the farm was no longer a place they wanted to bring their kids. The distance from Matt grew, and with it a wedge in their family dynamic. The farm feud wasn't the only pressure. Filming Little People Big World for nearly 2 decades took a toll. Zack and Tory were open about how invasive the cameras could be, especially as they raised their young children. Tory, in particular, struggled with the constant scrutiny. In a 2022 episode, she got candid about feeling overwhelmed and unappreciated in her marriage. She told Zack she felt like she was going through the motions, juggling motherhood and household responsibilities while he focused on external tasks. Fans noticed the tension, small moments where Zack seemed distracted or Tory's smiles didn't reach her eyes. Was this just a rough patch or a sign of deeper issues behind closed doors? Things were getting harder. Sources close to the couple, friends who wished to remain anonymous, say Zack and Tory were struggling to balance their roles. Tory was the primary caregiver, managing the kids' schedules, doctors' appointments, and the emotional labor of parenting 3 young children, 2 of whom have dwarfism. Zack, meanwhile, was dealing with his own challenges. In early 2023, he underwent emergency surgery for a health issue related to his dwarfism, a terrifying ordeal that left Tory as his caregiver. The stress was immense, and it started to erode their connection. They were no longer the carefree couple who fell in love on the farm. They were exhausted, stretched thin, and drifting apart. And then the bombshell dropped. In late 2024, whispers began circulating among Little People, Big World fans. A rumor started on social media, sparked by an anonymous post on a reality TV forum. It claimed Zack had been seen with another woman, not Tory, at a local coffee shop in Battleground. The woman was described as tall, brunette, and unfamiliar to fans. At first, the rumors were dismissed as gossip. Zack and Tory had weathered storms before, right? But the whispers grew louder. A fan claimed to have overheard Zack calling this woman babe during a phone call. Another said they saw them together at a park looking cozy. Was Zack cheating on Tory? The truth, as it emerged, was devastating. According to insiders, Zack had met this woman, let's call her Emily, as her real identity remains private, through a mutual friend in early 2024. TLC, but as a man searching for purpose. For Zack, it was intoxicating, but for Tory, it was a betrayal that would shatter her world. The moment of truth came in October 2024. Tory, suspicious after Zack's increasingly secretive behavior, checked his phone one night while he was asleep. What she found confirmed her worst fears. Messages from Emily, filled with flirty banter and plans to meet up. There were even photos, Zack and Emily smiling together at a local festival, looking like a couple in love. Tory was devastated. She confronted Zack the next morning, and The argument was explosive. Zack didn't deny the relationship, but insisted it wasn't physical, just emotional. But for Tory, the damage was done. The trust they'd built over a decade was gone. By November 2024, Zack and Tory's marriage was over. Tory moved out of their Washington home with Jackson, Leah, and Josiah, renting a nearby apartment. Zack stayed in the house, but the once happy home was now a shell of its former self. The couple announced their separation on Instagram in a joint statement, asking for privacy and focusing on their commitment to co-parenting. But behind the scenes, the split was anything but amicable. Tory felt humiliated, betrayed by the man she'd loved since high school. Zack, meanwhile, was grappling with guilt, but also a sense of freedom. He was ready to move on. Fans were blindsided. Zack and Tory had just wrapped season 25 of Little People Big World and launched their podcast Raising Heights, which seemed to show them stronger than ever. But looking back, there were clues. Their podcast episodes in early 2024 had moments of awkward tension, silences that lingered too long, Tory's voice cracking when talking about family challenges. Their decision to leave the show, announced in February 2024, was framed as a desire to focus on their kids. But now we know it was also about escaping the pressure of pretending everything was okay. The divorce was finalized in March 2025, just months before this video. Court documents, which we've obtained through reliable sources, reveal a relatively straightforward split. Tory retained primary custody of Jackson, Leah, and Josiah, with Zack getting generous visitation rights. The couple split their assets, including their Washington property, with Tory keeping a significant portion to ensure stability for the kids. But the emotional toll was immense. Tory's friends say she leaned heavily on her faith and her mother-in-law, Amy Roloff, who became her rock during this time. Amy, who went through her own public divorce from Matt in 2016, understood Tory's pain like few others could. And then came the news that rocked the Little People Big World fandom. Zack was getting married again. In June 2025, just 3 months after his divorce was finalized, Zack tied the knot with Emily in a private ceremony in Washington. The wedding was small, attended by a handful of friends and Zack's siblings Molly and Jacob, but notably not Jeremy or Matt. Photos from the event, leaked by a guest, show Zack in a simple suit and Emily in a flowing bohemian dress standing under an arch of wildflowers. They looked happy, almost defiantly so, but the speed of the marriage raised eyebrows. How could Zack move on so quickly? And who was this woman who'd captured his heart? Emily, we've learned, is 32 years old, a single mother with a young daughter from a previous relationship. She's built a successful career as a freelance photographer known for her vibrant landscapes and candid family portraits. Friends say she and Zack bonded over their shared love of creativity and their desire for a simpler life away from the reality TV spotlight. But their relationship wasn't without controversy. Many fans accused Zack of cheating on Tory, pointing to the timeline of his romance with Emily. While Zack has never publicly admitted to infidelity, those close to him say he fell for Emily while still married, blurring the lines between emotional and physical betrayal. The Little People Big World fandom is divided. Some fans support Zack, saying he deserves to find happiness after a difficult marriage. Others feel he betrayed Tory, who stood by him through health scares, family drama, and the pressures of fame. Tory has remained mostly silent, posting only cryptic messages about healing and trusting God's plan. But her recent podcast episode released in July 2025 hinted at her pain. She spoke about learning who people really are and focusing on her kids as her reason to keep going. It's clear she's still processing the hurt, but she's determined to move forward. So, where's Zack and Tory now? Tory has thrown herself into motherhood, focusing on Jackson, Leia, and Josiah. She's also revived her photography business, taking on new clients and sharing stunning images of her kids on Instagram. She's surrounded by a tight-knit support system, including Amy and her close friends who've helped her rebuild her confidence. There's even talk that Tory might return to reality TV, perhaps a spin-off about her life as a single mom. For now, she's keeping her options open, focusing on her faith and her family. Zack, meanwhile, is embracing his new life with Emily. They've settled into a cozy home in Washington, blending their families with Emily's daughter and Zack's kids during his visitation time. Zack has stepped away from the spotlight, focusing on coaching youth soccer and exploring photography with Emily. He's expressed regret for how things ended with Tory, but insists he's found his true path. Whether fans forgive him or not, Zack seems determined to write a new chapter, one that's quieter, simpler, and free from the cameras. The story of Zack and Tory Roloff is a reminder that even the most beloved couples can face insurmountable challenges. Their journey on Little People Big World showed us the beauty of love and family, but also the harsh realities of betrayal and heartbreak. As they move forward on separate paths, one thing is clear: their story isn't over. It's just beginning anew. What do you think about Zack and Tory's divorce? Are you team Tory, team Zack, or somewhere in between? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Zack Rolof opens up about his time on Little People Big World. I could not stand filming and why Tory Roloff's dad did not like Zack. I will explain everything. Little People Big World. Zack Rolof had to get Tory's dad's okay. After the couple started dating in 2010, they have stayed together ever since. They initially crossed paths while Tory worked at the Roloff pumpkin patch. Their 10th wedding anniversary is in July of this year. They dated for 3 years until Zack asked Tory to be his wife in April 2014. Their marriage was solemnized in July 2015, 10 months after their engagement. Jackson, Leia, and Josiah were born into the couple's home shortly after they started a family. Zack Rolof and his wife Tory Roloff launched a podcast after publicly distancing themselves from the reality show that brought them fame. Despite Little People Big World, Zack and Tory show being widely considered to be among the top reality TV shows currently airing, they have been making a name for themselves away from the show. The family's overall shift toward Washington, and more importantly away from the other Roloffs in Oregon, happened to align well with this career shift. TLC, but as a man searching for purpose. For Zack, it was intoxicating, but for Tory, it was a betrayal that would shatter her world. The moment of truth came in October 2024. Tory, suspicious after Zack's increasingly secretive behavior, checked his phone one night while he was asleep. What she found confirmed her worst fears. Messages from Emily, filled with flirty banter and plans to meet up. There were even photos, Zack and Emily smiling together at a local festival, looking like a couple in love. Tory was devastated. She confronted Zack the next morning and the argument was explosive. Zack didn't deny the relationship, but insisted it wasn't physical, just emotional. But for Tory, the damage was done. The trust they'd built over a decade was gone.
By
November 2024, Zack and Tory's marriage was over. Tory moved out of their Washington home with Jackson, Leah, and Josiah, renting a nearby apartment.
Zack
Stayed in the house, but the once happy home was now a shell of its former self. The couple announced their separation on Instagram in a joint statement, asking for privacy and focusing on their